Hello, everybody. My name is Salvatore Accaputo, and I'm the CEO of EIKONA, who's the mentor of Tessa. And I thank you so much for being there, because I want to show you the perfect combination of Tessa and Akeneo. Tessa is a dam system which perfectly fits into Akeneo. So I will start directly from now, not knowing if everybody sees everything. Okay, so here the first thing on the intro screen, you can switch your languages. At the moment, we have 3 languages in here, so it's English, French, and German. If you need other languages, this is not a problem. So I'm going to switch you to English because I think it's better for you all. Should be okay. So and here I have the login. So I'm logging in as an administrator. As an administrator, I can do everything and I can see everything. So this is a real RISE thing. So on the start screen, you see here 3 parts. So the first part on the left, which is how you search and how you filter. Here is all this coming out and all your assets. On the right side, you have publications and shares and collections. But I will start with the upload area. So we have a little upload area over here. And in the upload area, you can, for example, create some folders for the photographer, for example. But here, for example, just to upload something, I just take my browser, Desktop Explorer, it's coming, yeah, and just take these 2 images here and just drag and drop in over. So if I just drag and drop in over, they're not here, and I can say, okay, I want to upload. Now, what we do here directly at the moment when we upload, you see here now a little info. So we are checking these images, and no matter if it's images or videos, we can have rules also. So we can check resolution, we can check if there's the right format. For example, you can say that your photographer is only allowed to upload TIFF images, for example, or your marketing director is only allowed to upload PDF files. And you can check these things directly here, although if the resolution is okay, because you want in your DAM system only the highest resolution for your media, because the Tessa, we have under Tessa a strong conversation server, so you just need the highest resolution of every image in there, and we do the conversation by ourselves. So now I just refresh, and now you see here thumbnails are generated, and you see these 2 images. We work a lot with some little icons. So, for example, this icon here shows you that this image is already in the database. So they're directly a duplicate content check. So some information that you get here when we have uploaded it. So just check here. So you see the name, the path, you see some attributes of the information. So we just check all the EXIF data, for example, of that image. So we see the resolution, we see when it's made, when it was done. And even if, for example, a photographer has made it as a photo, they can put their own names in here, which you see in the information file. We can add some rules, whatever I was talking about already. So I can say, for example, it's only allowed if this image is a JPEG, then you can upload it. If it is a PNG, it's not allowed, for example. Now, at this point here, we are not in the database. This is just, let's say, a pre-database, because here a lot of people can have access to that, but not to the real database. And so, for example, you can have here like things like you can compare images. You get a little zoom functionality. I mean, obviously these 2 apes are different. They obviously are, but maybe if you have a big photo shoot, you don't see the difference directly. And I can check that in directly here and can say, I want to add this one because this is checked. I want to add this one as an asset. Now, at this point of view, I can just already do some more information to that asset. For example, I can see the asset type. I can change the type. For example, the asset type is pretty important because, for example, for an image, you have something like the file size, the resolution, the size, like the pixels, and what kind of color space you have. But for a PDF file, you have something like how many pages do you have, or for a video, how many frames per second, and so on. So the file type is pretty important, but we detect it automatically normally. So here we have tags. We have private and public tags. Public means these are tags that everybody can see who has a connection to Tessa. Private tags are just your own tags. So you can make your own favorite tags. So I can put here, for example, as a tag, Love India. And my private tag is just Akeneo. So this is only visible for me. Then we have here a little on-off button, internal, external. This is, for example, if you're working with products and, for example, your product image has changed over the last weeks, and you want to have that image to be vanished from all the websites that are online. So you just can put this then to internal, and it's not external anymore. And for example, in your Magento shop or whatever you're using, this image is switched off and replaced, for example, by a dummy image. Highlight, this is something that we use normally for the main image of a product. For example, if you have a product, you have a shot from the front, you have a shot from the side and from the top, but there's normally one image that you say, okay, this is the top, the main image that I need for my brochure or for my web page. So if you put it here on highlight, you're going to see what's happening later on. Then you get a little icon again with a little star. And so you know, whatever everybody else knows, this is the highlight image of that product. Categories. So here I can put all my images into categories, but I'm going to do this later on because that's the easier way than clicking it in. I mean, just to make sure, everything I'm doing here now manually can be done automatically by just importing from a hard drive. And for example, then the folder name is then, for example, part of the category tree. And the image name can contain, for example, the SKU number of the product. So we can connect that directly by importing with the Akeneo product, if you know the number. So we can do a lot of things automatically here. Okay, so here, for example, I could just put in the spring here. Then next thing is product here. So article is product. So I can say, yes, I want to connect it with a product. And if I have a connection to Akeneo, I even could put in what kind of product it is. But we do that later on also. So workflow, I can define as many workflows on imagery and all the other assets as I want to. For example, this is now a complex workflow. Like say, you can have somebody loading it up, then there's somebody else who has to check the resolution, and then somebody else again has to approve that. So, but we want to show you how easy it is to do the workflow. And then here you just see what happens when you have, for example, 10 images to go online, and just press the image and then say what happens. Now it was just one, so it's pretty fast. You don't see anything. So here now it's vanished here because now it's in the media area. Normally I would ask you if you have some questions, but as I don't hear you, I just continue to the media area. Now you see that image is now here. And you see here the star, as I told you, this is now a highlight image. And you see here a bunch of things. So we will start here now on the left side. This is, as I told you in the beginning, for searching and for filtering your assets. So first of all, with the asset part, I can search for a term. So this is going to do a full text search over everything. Even we search everything what's in PDF files. These are PDF files, for example. I'll show you how we show the PDF files. You don't have to use any plugin. We can open directly in the browser. Okay, so yeah, this is for all formats that we use, even a PSD file. You don't have to have Photoshop on your computer to open a PSD file because we do everything directly in Tessa. So for example, now I just want to get some information. So it's a mono, okay? So you see the word mono. So I'm going to search here for the word mono. And hopefully, yes, and there it shows me these 3 PDF files where in the text it was saying mono. So we're searching through everything what we see here. So here you can search directly for the asset name. So if you know the name in the asset, there is something with tasks. So they have all tasks in their name, as you see here. Then we can say the search for placeholder. Placeholders is something pretty important. For example, if you're using your product and you're working in Akeneo already and have all your product information like size and what it contains and what it is, but the photographer didn't have the time to already make the photo suite. So you can say, okay, I just make a placeholder because because later on the real image is coming from the photographer. So I have that placeholder, and I can connect that placeholder already to my product. So I can put in all the information in Akeneo, and even put this as a placeholder here already in categories, and still just exchange later on the image by the real image. And I can search, for example, for placeholders and show me all the placeholders. So if I have a collection of placeholders, or I have only one, the one I made already. But if I have more than that, I just can go to my photographer and say, hey, we have these 10 products where we still don't have any pictures. Please bring them to us. So the next point here is highlights. So we talked about it already. So if I go here, show me all the highlights, it's going to show me all the images that are just highlight images. You see, they all have the stars here up here. And the last one here in this section is I can search for images that are already in one of the collections that I have shared with somebody. Next part is the pretty strong part, because this is, you can search here by date, for example, when it was created, when it was last updated an asset, or when the license date is expiring. Because if you're working, for example, with stock imagery, then you normally have a license date. So it's expiring on 1 day. Or the same for photographers. Some photographers, they give you just a license for 1 year. So you can put in here a license search. And see when it was created last time. So you have a really powerful search over time for all your assets. Categories. So this, I think, is one of the most important parts. So I can have here my categories, and you see here some, and I just click this one on because I put, I think, the one here. So you see all these are in this category. And as this is not folders, these are really categories. So I can put this image, for example, into some other categories, and it still is just one image. So no matter what I'm doing, it's still in just one image was what I'm working on here. The easiest way to make a new category is just by clicking right on it and saying I want to insert a new one. And even I have the possibility to do it in different languages. So if I switch the language tab over here on the top, it even switches the name here. So for example, I can say here, test German. In English, I say test English. And in French, I say test French. So, and if I do this, I even can upload a little icon for that, but I don't do that at the moment. I think you believe me that we can do that. So, and now I have that category here. It's saying test English because I'm in the English version. Now I'm switching it to the German version. I go to the categories, Kategorien in German, Kategorien again, and this is test German. So you see, we're switching off even the name of it if you want to. I just go back to English. I think it's easier for all of us. So now it should be back in the English version. Yeah. So this is how I can just put in categories and filter for them. And if I want to, as you probably have seen, if I want to add something in a new category, just dragging and dropping it, the asset from here, from the upload area to the media area. So I just go back to the media area. So I'm here in the media area. And I hope you see now the media area. Yeah. Okay. Would be nice if Zarov could get me some information about Skype so I see that everything is working. Okay. So what I do next here, I can now, for example, see here all the filter and selection modes that I have. I talked to you already. I mean, you heard everything, but I think you didn't see it. So here I can put in the search term, and as searching through everything, the asset name for the placeholders I was talking about. This is now the placeholder you haven't seen yet, but this is a placeholder now here. If I search for the placeholder, I just show this, and now you just see the placeholders. And I just talked about what is possible with these placeholders. Okay, so now I'm checking on the other screen. It looks like you just see the other screen. Okay. Are you seeing now the ape in a big screen? You see that ape? No, I don't think so. Now, okay, now you see something. Okay. I think it's a lot slower than I see. Okay. Okay, so I will continue. So this is the first part I was talking about already. So we have here the highlights. So this of the main image that I can filter for. These are the highlight images. You see here the little stars on the top of it. And now I was talking about also about the for the time categories. So this is already done. Categories. This is how the categories are opened. Just clicking on them, and by dragging and dropping something, it's really going there. Okay, and see it on the screen. Yeah, YouTube is pretty slow, but it's showing what I'm doing. Okay. Now reset the filter again. This is the connection with products. We're gonna put this later on. So, for example, now relationship. You can put several assets into relation to each other. For example, if you have a InDesign document, there are some images in that InDesign document, and these images have a relation to that InDesign document. And to make, for example, a manual relation, I just drag and drop one image on another. And now if I go to see the detailed information about it, I can see here at the relation that to this image here, I have these two relations. And now this was more or less how to filter. We have some little small filters you can also use. For example, you see here on the top over the assets. So you have here, for example, filters where you can say, just show me all documents. So you're gonna get don't get any videos anymore, and no PDF, no images. Or for example, just media. And so you get all the videos and all the sound files. For example, to show you a video. And you see, it's also opening directly in the browser.
Das Wichtigste für mich in der Praxis, wenn ich Patienten behandeln möchte.
So everything is working directly in here. So you can filter here, and even if you upload a format, we see directly the format in the filter files here. Good thing is now you can make really complex searches, like for example, show me just all the InDesign files that are in a category, for example, gender, and I want them to be in a relation with X and Y. And then you can just save here that search. So you don't have to do that search anymore every day again. So you can just save that search, search for me. And either can have that search for everybody using the Tessa available. Let's say no. And now we save the not the search results, but we search the entire search items. So for example, I go to my search here and searches, save searches, and here I have my search for me. And with one click, I can hit that and see that daily. Even on these searches, I can have like frequent common emails. So they say, I want an email every night for new assets that match my search. Or I can even say, I want every night that new assets that are in that search are spread to another FTP server or to a web platform. So I can really share everything what I have filtered here and searched for. As I don't hear you, I would continue because we don't have you cannot ask questions. So one other thing to search for is a workflow. So what happens with the workflow? I can say, for example, show me everything that's in this delivery workflow. Now, everything that's in here, I can now go to workflows. Workflows. Where is it? And for example, now I can say, now this is a good one. I want to have it on inspection. So the next one after delivery is inspection. And I can say to the designer, please check that. And even I can make an annotation in that image. I can say, for example, because I have a problem with that nose here. So I can say, please check the nose. Now I have here this annotation. And I can make as many annotations as I want to. So I don't have to write an email beside that. I just do that. And now the designer gets an email, and so he knows what to do with that asset. And he can change another workflow. So the designer goes into workflow and says, show me everything that's on inspection. And so he gets this here. And here he can also then do whatever he has to do. For example, we have a Photoshop plugin, so you can directly from Photoshop open that asset, do whatever you have to do, and save it again into Tessa. So now the next one would be, for example, here there are two possibilities. After an inspection, I can do checking resolution or rejecting it, and I can reject it because I can say it is not a beauty. And here I see what has happened till now. So I see who did what when. I can see everything in here. So I do that, and now it's on rejected. And when I now just go to the workflows and please show me everything that's rejected, there it is. So this is how you can even work with complex workflows, and you can even make your own workflows. This is just a demo workflow for you to set. And you can have also actions with that workflow. For example, if one status is reached, then you send an email to a group of people. Or when a status is reached, then it can be, for example, shared with your online web store. So this is everything can be based on that workflow status. Yep. So we reset that. Now I just want to show you some information about what kind of information we have for the assets. So in the detail view, we have a lot of information that's coming directly from the file, and you see everything what we have done with the assets. So you have the name in here. Now Aziri is talking to me also. We have a name in here, the file name. We have where it is stored. We have the tags that we are using. This is the public tags and the private tags. We have what kind of image it is. And then here we have the number of channels, so we automatically realize how many channels and its channels are there. We can show them, and even if there are some clipping paths. The visibility, if it is internal or external, the placeholder, if it is a placeholder or not. So all the things, and this here down here is the first link that you can, for example, send someone to download it. I mean, we wouldn't use that, but it is a possibility to share something, because here you have directly a key. So even if you just change one word, it's not that you can access something else. So we have really a key under for each asset, so you can share that from here. But then you can only download it in the original version as it is stored into the database. Next part here is a category. You saw that already. So we have to see here all the categories. As I'm in the edit in the detail mode, not in the edit mode, I cannot change anything here. I'm going to show you later how you can do that. So now this is if it is already combined or linked with any product, like Akeneo, for example. This is if there is a relation. We saw that we made a relation already, so we see here the relation tab, the workflow, which workflow status we have, and where we have reached, what has happened to now. Usage is if it is already in one collection or if it's downloaded. So if I have shared that, for example, with some other people or companies. We also can add SEO information for all images and for all assets that we have. And we even can do that in different languages if you want to. The properties are now just the regular information about the file. And now GPS data is also available if you, for example, have a photographer who's working for you somewhere around the world. The GPS data can be stored, and we can even do a search on that GPS data. And here you see all the information from that exit file. So every information that we have can be seen here. Content, this is something I'm going to show you in the next part. And the metadata, this is, for example, if there is a expiration date, if you have a license on that, and if it is a current version or an old version, because we can work here with versions on images. So to show you 2 or 3 things that I couldn't show you in the detail, we go to the edit. With an edit, you can change everything, which you're not going to do, but to show you something else. So I can add here now, for example, the tags, new tag, for example, and I can add or change the categories that's in here just by clicking them on, and I could even change the relationship. But some really cool thing is about the tags. I can click here to suggest tags. What we do now, we connect directly to the Google Vision API, and we get information about that image. So this is coming in real time from Google. And Google sees that this is a nose, a Japanese mascot, a New World monkey, and so on. And then you can say, yeah, I want to just keep these all, yeah? And you can keep all these tags, for example. And the good thing is this also happens if you change language. So if I change now the language, I can see these tags in another language. This was something I wanted to show you exactly. Yeah, because this is also happening here. Okay, so I just save that, and now if I go back to the regular detail view, then you see that all these tags are in there. You see that. So they came directly from Google, so I didn't have to do that on my own. So what else we have? We can delete it, we can share it directly from here, but I show you later how we can share it nicer. We can do some previews on it, we can see the versions. And version is something pretty cool. So we had here, for example, the placeholder. So it's an empty image, which is probably maybe directly already used in Akeneo. So now I want to change that with a new version. The easiest way to do that is just I drag down again my desktop explorer. I just take an image from here, hold it on that, and now I'm putting the new version up. I'm just uploading it. Upload. And now this is going to, after the refresh, it's going to be the new one. So you see, I have just made that version up. And so, if I go now to the versions, you can see it in here. This was the old version. This is the new version. And here the little arrow shows you, this is now the current version of it. I can say, oh no, this is wrong. I can just go back here and say, no, I want this one, so the dummy image, to be the current version. I just change it around. And no matter where you're using this image then, I just have to reload, then it will be changed always to the current version that you're using. So just go back, go, show, and take that again. Okay, so it is current version, please. Yes. So, so this was a really easy way to put in a new version. We also have, maybe on this one here. Oops. We also have some other nice information. So, for example, if you're using an image and you don't need the whole image in your website, you can say, I want to just use a selection of it. Selection. And now you can just put here, for example, I just want this one in my website. And I can mark this and say edit, and this now I have just a part of that image. So you don't have to go to Photoshop and slice that and just upload a new asset. It's just the same asset, but we just show this part. And even you can reach this information via HTML and save that information and see that online. One other part here is you can have focus points. Focus one. And focus points are pretty important because if you're using, for example, websites that are responsive, normally they crop around the center of an image. This is what happens always. But if you say, no, but my most important information is over here, you say, okay, I saved that there. And now the cropping process, if you are smalling your website or putting on a mobile site, then it will be around that eye, not about the center of the image. Okay, also some nice thing. I showed you already the workflow, so I don't think that we have to go to in here, but the messenger, for example. So every asset that we have has its own messenger. So you can even talk to each other within the company around one asset directly in here. So you don't have to send emails around, and you see everything here, what happens with that, and if it is going through a workflow, when it was uploaded, who did what kind of changes. So you see everything in the message box here, and it will always be saved with the image. So next thing I would do is to move from this part here to the share part, which is the way how you share assets with, for example, your clients or with photographers or other people. So the easiest way is that you just make a collection here. I just can say, okay, I want to make we have some collections, but I make a new one, which I call Salvatore in India. India as well. So, and you can say that some other people of my company can use that collection, but I don't want that because it's my one. It's Salvatore. So now you see that over here, and I could put now some infos in there just by dragging, dropping again. So we have some nice images in here. And now how to share this is a pretty easy thing. So what I can do, I just go here on share. I was too fast. Share. And now I have different kind of options. So we see here in the media, we can do it via email, meaning that the Tessa is going to make a zip file with all this information, and you can send from Tessa that email to someone. Download, then this zip file is not going to be in an email. You can download it directly. Or a link, then you get a link that you can copy, paste, and go to your email client and send it to someone. Now, with this three, what happens is that you're going to get a zip file, and here you can change how the content should be. You can say, for example, I want all images in there to be as JPEG in a special resolution. This is something that we can put in there. You can even say we have clients who don't even know what is 300 dpi, so they just say for print or just for web, and that's also a way. And then I just get this link, for example, have then with just this images in this category. I even can say if I want the clipping path to be applied and a validation. So how long will the link be valid for someone who's getting that link? One other thing, which is a really nice thing, is just to work with portals. Portals are some kinds of small websites that are created directly by the Tessa. And even here, I just going to show you 2 or 3 portals, because with the portals, you can also have some information and some filters. So I just take the first one. This is a movie in Germany, title, main title, and a subtitle. So this is everything that can be configured. And now I just get continue, and I get a link. I copy that. Close that. Okay. And now what you see now here is a little portal with all the information that I had in my shopping basket. So you see them here, and you see here directly I have also a filter, and this filter is working automatically. So what I can do, for example, here, I just go back and say I want to delete this A from my selection. I don't use it anymore, and I don't have to do anything more. I just go back here and say reload. And you see the ape is gone, and the 2014 is gone. So everything is dynamic. What's working in here. And this here, for example, if you want to download something, you don't have to download a whole zip file like there's normally in an email or the link. You can say, no, I just want this one here and this one, and you got a little shopping basket how to download the images that you want to. Now, some other versions, I just put this back in here. So there's another version is that if I go back here and say portal again, I want to share this as a portal. Say portal, and now I just use another portal so you see how powerful these portals can be. And this is just regular HTML, so you can program it by yourself. You don't need us to do that. Just not title and so. And now I just take this one. This is not a nice one, but it shows some nice configuration. So clipboard, just go in here. Oops, my website's open, and I copy that link. And now you're going to see that it looks different. But here, for example, you can select what kind of format you want to download. So with these kind of portals, you can do a lot of things with your assets for spreading them out there without sending always these huge, big zip files like you're doing normally with WeTransfer or we're doing with your Dropbox. One other thing, which is I think pretty important for you, I can share this collection via a JSON script. So I just go back here. I say JSON. And even here, I have a validation, which can be pretty important for you. And I say, okay, I want to have that JSON. And I copy that. Now I have to open, I think, another browser because to show you how the JSON looks like. A second, I need to change the screen. It's pretty slow. I go to the Chrome browser. And now I open the JSON, and now you have all the information that you need in that JSON here. So you see, we have here these 1 to 5 assets in here, and you see all the important information of each asset in here. This was one, this is the other one. So you see the thumbnail, you see when it was created, when it was done, the size of it, what categories it is. So all the information you probably would need. And so you can build your own website around it and just attach it to that JSON script that's coming out of Tessa. Okie dokie. Maybe one other thing that could be interesting for clients of yours is that you can also say, I want to have this as, let's say there's a link, as a PowerPoint presentation. So what is going to happen here, we're going to create on your master slide a PowerPoint where we put the images that you have in that collection on the side, on the slides, and you still can change everything. So it's just we put them in there, we calculate them down, so it's not these huge PowerPoint files you probably get sometimes with 20 and more gigabits. So we just can get a just regular PDF file, PowerPoint presentation. But I'm going to skip this because I mean you can test that because we have a link online, so you can check that later on by yourself. So this was more or less everything about this here. Now I would switch directly to Akeneo so you see how these two fit perfectly into each other. So we have, as soon as you have Akeneo connected, I just changed that here, then you have this little link over here in the top of the Tessa, and then you can directly switch to your Akeneo. So when I'm back in Akeneo, I can go to my products. I just check. I'm gonna check the first product. Okay, this is this one here. You see all the images you see here already. They are coming from Tessa. And what is happening here again? So if I just scroll down, so you see here these are Tessa images. We also named them Tessa. So these are from Tessa. So what I can do, for example, I just go in here, and now you see here that we integrated Tessa into Akeneo, and now I have a little smaller search index for these, so I can search here again. But for example, I want to remove this one here, and this one here too. And I want to add, which is normally with us like with drag and drop, I want to add this one here. And now I save that, and you see it's directly here. So I'm gonna, okay,
Hello.
No, this is Siri. So now I save that, and now that you get the information, so what we're doing here, we're not uploading the image to Akeneo, we're just sharing the link to that image. This is a good thing because now we can go here, for example, now I'm back in the Tessa. It was this one here, I think we haven't uploaded, yeah, there it is again. And now I can say, for example, where is my desktop here? For example, I changed that now to this funny pigs and say this is now the new version of it. So now here I have changed that already. I think my screen is not sharing anymore. I get the information. We have a screen problem. Houston, we got a screen problem. Yeah, you just see my screen. So I have to ask my friends here at Webkul what we can do now, because now we're coming to the last and most important part of the whole presentation. The reason why you are there, and the reason why you're not sleeping yet. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, okay, yeah, I got information from the audience also. Screen has. Thank you, Emmett. Thank you very much.